I always say we are full. The people say, Eti, you're getting into a relation to be completed. No. If you feel you have, don't get into it. Because that person, you will be giving the other person a task to feel something. They don't know what they are feeling and where they are feeling.
Hey, welcome to Road Trendia. My name is Judy Mongai, and today we are having our show at Bendarin Hotel along Thika Road in Ruiru. And with me today it's Triza.
Hi,
She'll tell us more about herself, and we'll be learning more on relationship as a Christian, as a believer. She'll take us more in details. Hello.
Hi, Judy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Pleasure being here.
It's pleasure is all mine. Thank you for making time for us.
Thank you for having me.
Who is Triza?
Triza, in a nutshell. Triza is a worshipper, a lover of God. That is my principle. That's where I start. I'm a worshipper. And just a simple, ordinary girl. Kenyan girl. It's good to say that. I'm a gospel artist, a vocal trainer, a songwriter, a singer, a team builder, transformational speaker, team builder, just in a nutshell. But I also work in the legal fraternity.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are a lawyer?
Paralegal.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, today we want us to take us through the living as a Christian. At the same time, you have to develop in all ways. You have to get to intermingle with the other people. You have to get into a relationship. How should a Christian, a believer, someone who is saved, should go about that? And to begin with, kindly let us know, for a young girl out there who, or a young man, for a youth, for instance, who wants to start dating, or maybe he or she don't know where to start. Maybe to start with, what's the right age for the youth to get into those dating things?
When one is ready.
When you are ready.
When one is
There's
ready.
no specific age.
And the reason why I've said when one is ready, we've been all created and cut out differently. Of course, once you're 18 years in Kenya, or probably all over the world, you're considered a mature adult and you can make your own decisions. But then, that is the time most of the people are in school, university, campuses, colleges.
Sure.
So in reality of life, you're not ready for marriage. And that's why I said when you're ready for marriage. Maybe somebody was not privileged to go to school, to campuses and all that.
Sure.
And they've been doing their other things. So at the age of 22, they probably in business and they feel, I'm ready for this thing.
Sure.
So the key word is when you're ready. Because someone could be 40 and
still not yet ready.
Yes.
So you
if
should
you
not
keep
feel
an age, we push people to unnecessary pressures that now leads us into more troubles when people are settled in marriage.
True.
Yes.
True. And are there principles one should follow when getting into a relationship?
Yes. First, before you even look at the principle, people need to understand what is the relationship. Because we have this notion that a relationship is the interaction between a man and a woman, or a woman and a woman, now for those who are promiscuous and the other way around.
True.
But relationship starts with self. Especially for a Christian, it starts with the relationship I have with myself. I have to first work on that, work on the relationship I have with God, for me to have a better relationship with Judy or the other person. If that relationship is not worked from the self part of it, it will not build to other people.
True.
And that's one of the mistakes we have, because most people have bad relationships with themselves. They will never have a good relationship with
themselves.
Yes.
And that will lead to they can't be in good relationship with other people.
Yes.
And how do you get in a good relationship with self? Some maybe don't know they are in bad relationship with self.
Maybe even the generation we are in, we first need to be taught how to develop relationships with ourselves. Because as we grew up, you've been born and you find yourself somewhere where we start realizing I am a person living with these people, and that's what mentors your relationship, your interaction. How people treat you or react towards you it kind of speaks to you, to yourself, to who you are. But then as we grow of age, and most people, unfortunately, they've been made to think they are not good enough. But when you grow up and come into Christ, now you have a relationship with God. It's good to have an identity with God, who you are. Who does God say I am? Because who God says I am matters than even what my parents think I am. Because to them, I always say parents are just channels that God used to bring us here. But because if God didn't have a purpose for me, I wouldn't be here.
True.
So there are many who are not born. We always say there are many eggs that swim but never make it to become a child. So I have a purpose. That's why God allowed me to be here. And when now I realize that, I start finding my identity with God. That builds my relationship with God. That means what another person think of me is not primary than what God think about me. And when I know who I am in God, then it is easier to even create a boundary of the people I relate with. Because if you don't treat me as a child of God, then I have no business to do with you.
True.
So we start, those are some of the building blocks that before we even come into a relationship. Because unfortunately, people go to relationship to look for identities.
They want that someone to love me, want
to
someone
be filled. There's something you're looking for that
you don't have for yourself.
And the truth is, nobody can give you that. No man can. I always say we are full. The people say, Eti, you're getting into a relation to be completed. No. If you feel you have, don't get into it. Because that person, you will be giving the other person a task to feel something. They don't know what they are feeling and where they are feeling.
Sure.
We need to be complete in ourselves. Be confident in who I am. Be confident in our flaws and mistakes. Because no one is perfect. We all have some issues here and there. Accept them. They are there. But with life, we keep growing and outgrowing them. So when you are complete in yourself, now you have a good, I love me. I know I am not good in this. I know I'm not probably tall enough as I would probably think I should. I know I'm not plump or thin enough, whatever. But I am comfortable with myself. I'm comfortable with my skin. I'm comfortable with how I look. I appreciate every figure and features in me because that's how God created me.
You don't have to wait for someone to tell you that you are beautiful. You are.
Yeah, I tell girls, look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, baby girl, you're awesome. Yeah. Then when you go out, a man will not come flatter you, you're beautiful, and cheat you with a pack of chips and drift you away.
Simply because he has told you you're beautiful. You already know. You should always know
that from inside you're beautiful. But then it goes back also with task parents. Learn to appreciate your children. To the fathers, you appreciate your daughters. To the mothers, build the masculinity of men, because men appreciate the appreciation of women. We build men and men build women. It's just a power of words. So that as your children grow, as your daughters grow, they are not going out to look for love outside there. They're not going to look out for appreciation. They are loved. We have millions and millions of terrible relationship and messes around the world because from the house we didn't get it. We missed it.
We are looking it out there.
I want somebody to tell me I'm beautiful. Maki, you're beautiful. I've seen girls do all manner of things. I talked to one a while ago and she's pretty. Like pretty. You know what, you're not even, the Bible says everything God created, we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Sure.
And sometimes we smile a bit because we are human. But she is pretty. But she never felt she was because everyone around her never made her feel she is. So she's out there doing all manner of things, piercing all over her body, doing all manner of things to feel
she's
pretty.
Beautiful.
But she is, even without being told. You look at her and you're like, wow, what a beauty. But you see that inner building that already tells you who you are, you don't have it.
Shouldn't.
And you will meet other people who are not quote unquote as pretty. So they are confident with themselves. They are okay with their skin. They are okay. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to eat what or apply what to look like what, because I am sure of who I am and I'm okay. So when we build now on that, then we can now start on the principles to what to do, what not to do.
Sure.
Yes.
There is this lady I hosted some time back. A man told her that she's not beautiful, she's ugly. And she took that in. It was not in her earlier, but once the man told her that, she took that in and her esteem went down. She felt that now, is it true? Yani, she started doubting herself, the way she used to see herself that she's beautiful. Now that man made her feel she's not beautiful. She started piercing all over, makeups throughout. At night she sleep with makeup so that she can feel that she's beautiful. What about that? Those people who pull our esteem down.
No, that's what I go back to where I started. When you have built a relationship with yourself, when you wake up every morning and look yourself at that mirror and tell yourself, baby girl, you're awesome.
And those who pull us down,
build your confidence to that level of anyone who comes after that statement nullified. What does the word of God say about me? I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. That's the final say. No man gives me life, so I will not take. And those are subconscious decisions you make to build on yourself. Because the truth is, yes, when we listen to people, they can pull your self-esteem away. They can actually tear you up, and they can make you feel like you're the most useless thing in the world. But the truth is, because God allowed you to be here, you are not useless. You're beautiful. If we all look alike, we would look funny and weird.
Sure.
So the difference looks we have beautifies us, and we all need to appreciate that's who we are. And the moment you appreciate that's who I am, you build boundaries within yourself. If you don't think I am that, I know I am, and by the word of God, this is who I am, you're not supposed to be anywhere within those boundaries.
There are some who are not fortunate enough to grow in that Christian-based environment. No going to church, no Bible reading at home, no nothing. Where will they get that?
They would get it because we are in a the world in itself set up. Even if you're not a Christian, you can always get the information. It's
all
spread
over.
All over. Now we have the Google, and like a while ago we didn't have the Google. Everyone right now have a phone. So if you went to even your phone and looks for a way to build your self-esteem and self-identity, there's a book called, I can't remember the writer, but I've read it. It's What Do You Say to Yourself When You Speak to Yourself?
Do people even speak to themselves?
You tell yourself. Yes, we do. Consciously or unconsciously, we do. We either confirm what we've been told, or we build an information based on something. We are always constantly communicating to ourselves, and that information is very, very, very powerful because it confirms who you are. What you tell yourself, whether a Christian or not, about yourself confirms you and builds you. The Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Out of the richness of your heart, that's who you are. What you are is what you produce. That's what you produce. And now what you are, or how you build yourself, what you input to yourself about you matters a lot, because that's all you will produce. If you came today, Judy, and told me, Triza, I love my nails. Triza, your nails are ugly. It won't even move me a bit, because they are beautiful. I already know they are beautiful. By the time I did them, I knew they were beautiful. And I was not waiting for Judy to come and confirm they were, because they are. But so what Judy says, it does not really count.
To some of us, once I do my hair, I'm just waiting for those compliments. I know by the time I'm getting out of that salon, I know this is what I wanted and this is how it has come out. But anyway, once I get home, tomorrow I have an event, the whole day no one is telling me the hair is beautiful, I'll be like, did I make the wrong choice?
Like, now your hair is beautiful.
Thank you.
What we do, that's what when you have that inner confidence, I don't need to be told by anyone else.
Don't wait for those compliments.
Wait for people, especially in the world we are living in today. We have a monster called selfishness, and probably you should address that in the near future. The selfishness in that I feel like I should be the only girl on top of the world. Nobody should come near or closer to me. So if I see another looking, I would be jealous. And you've seen that even in people. Someone looks nice.
Sure.
Then you hear someone pass a comment and you're like, all right, what was the comment for? You hear someone say, anaringa kwa sababu ako na nguo mpya. Like, inakuhusu. You get inakuhusu ni yake. Amelipia. You get. So those are eaters, because when you're selfish from inside, it eats the person in you. If we allow ourselves to be free spirited, we will not have some of those things roaming in us, because that's where you find envy, bitterness, anger, they all crop. And by the end of the day, when those things are roaming in your heart, you can't have a calm spirit, you can't have a good relationship, because those things will be roaming. For example, this is Judy, and probably Judy is dating Daniel, for example. And because I have those things in me, I will never have good thing to say about Judy and Daniel. I will never feel that she fits Daniel. Instead, it's me, Triza, who fits Daniel, because I feel I'm far much better. Superiority complex. I feel I'm better to other people, which is a sickness in the mind, because the Bible even teaches us otherwise. Always esteem other people better than yourself. When you do that, your spirit is free. You're easy for life.
No. What is the limit? Now you've told us to be self-esteem, to believe in ourselves, to see us as the best. But on the other hand, now I've seen myself as the best. But that man is looking at the other lady, not me.
Then you're confident enough, I'm the best. If he is not saying me, I'm not best enough for him, so my best will still come.
Interesting.
Yeah, because then you don't need to stoop low to anything. Maybe we look at those principles. As a Christian, number one, purity is very important. Sexual purity. And this is something dear to my heart, because I have 1,000,001 women who are having sex right, left, and center as a way, I don't know whether it's rubber stamp the relationship or what. Then they end up so broken because it didn't work out. You gave your body, which is your only best license as a woman, to a man. The moment a man sleeps with you, you've lost your power. The only power a woman have over a man is on her body. The moment a man have you for sex, you've lost that power. And men are hunters, they say. So after he's gotten you, he will go hunting about
the other.
You get. And the moment a man now trips you to that, then you will be wondering, I even gave him sex, I've been this to him, I've been this to him. You've lost your value. Basically, they say, I have friends who say, male friends who normally say that the moment a man sleeps with a woman, her value in his eyes to 95% all goes down. So he's only left with 5%.
So unfortunate.
And that 5% is to be called another time when you need some sex.
Pleasure.
Yes.
So unfortunate.
So unfortunate.
Now, once you're in a relationship, this man keeps telling you, oh, you don't love me enough if you can't do it.
Love and sex are two different things. Love is love. Love cares. Love protects. A man who really loves me, he will protect my purity. He will protect me as a woman to still be confident. If you talk to most people who have had sex before marriage, and those who are still, their self-esteem goes shh, because you feel like you've already been used. So if a man loves me, he will protect me. He will wait, because he really puts a value in me. But if he does not have a value in me, he will use me and dump me and leave. And I'll give you an example. When we were all growing, we bought the Christmas new dresses or shoes and all that. Or even when you're planning for an event, We all go to the fundi or wherever you buy a new outfit. Nice, pretty. We don't put it on before time. We wait for that particular day to put it on. Why? Because we value and treasure. So if a man values and treasure a woman, why should he use you when you're not his wife? And that God was very categorical. Sex is for married. There's no this thing they say, oh, I can't buy a car, I have not test driven. You're not a car. You're not a car. For crying out loud, I'm a human being. So if we allow, I always keep asking ladies, so if you're test driven by John, test driven by Alex, test driven by Kamau, test driven by...
You'll be worn out.
You'll become United Nations.
Sure. Now when should you know this is the right person?
The right person adds value. So some of the principles again, other than purity, is know your purpose. Know your purpose. Before you even get into a relationship, know your purpose. Why am I alive? Why am I living? Why did God create me? What is my purpose in this earth? Because we didn't come to pass time. Like tulitupa kutoka binguni playground, tungoje alafu jioni itafika we shall be. Because no, you're here to do something. You're here to impact a nation. Like what you're doing, impacting other lives. We are here for something.
Sure.
So when I know that purpose, I will not just see everyone to suit, because not everyone suits that purpose. Personally, I'm a worshiper, I'm a minister. Not everyone suits that blanket.
Sure.
Because the person who comes into my life should be able to see she's a minister. He needs to, in his purpose, it should also be empowering me and making me to be a better person, to fulfill that godly purpose. That is primary. And the same case to me, I should be helping him achieve his vision and his purpose for life. But if we are coming together just for sex and probably hanging out for people and friends, we lose it.
So when you are in a relationship, how far should it go?
Far as in?
Now we are dating, the
hugging, kissing, all those things. As a Christian, what you cannot do in darkness, what you cannot do in private, don't do it in darkness. It's that simple.
Just for that.
What you can do in the public, don't do it in private. Because sin is separated. And that's the power of sin. What you start slowly builds up into something gigantic. Ask me why most marriages are failing nowadays. I told you I'm in the legal fraternity. Most of the divorces are within the Christian setup. People who went to church and all that, and we celebrated and we are like, what's happening? But because they started sinning way back, so the foundation was the foundation of sin. And we say God is a merciful God, but He's also a God of order, God of principles. So we need to be firm and sound. And that's why we say relationship is when you're ready. When is the right time to get? When you're ready to get married, not just ready to get married. So that we don't have all these years spent trying to find bearing. If you're not ready to get married, don't get into a relationship. It's a waste of time. It will end up wasting you. You will end up sinning and feeling empty.
So if it is not leading to marriage, don't start it.
Don't start it.
It's not necessary.
And we know. We already know. Like, I personally tell people, don't entertain people. The moment you already know from the onset, this is a person I can be with, I can't. Define your relationships, because we'll have many relationships in life. Sure. Define, this is a work relationship. This is a ministry relationship. This is, define them all. What you can't define, leave. Just leave it.
Now I feel I'm ready enough to get married. I meet this guy and I feel also, we can try. We can try. So what should I look out for to know that this is the right person, to see whether it can lead to marriage?
Character. The character of the person. That's what you will live with for the rest of your life.
But some fake.
You can't fake your character. And that's why we have the dating period. We fake a lot of things. We build. As a Christian, I pray, and I believe the Holy Spirit speaks in me. If someone is wrong, he's wrong, and he signals. But unfortunately, most of us see pink flags and not red. When they're red, we see them as pink. It's going to whitish. It's somehow brightening. And when it's red, it is red. Your conscience, the way we are created with God, because in the creation, God breathed His Spirit in us. It will tell you, this one we are not.
Don't force
it. Just if we are not, we are not. Because when you force it, it will either end up in marriage that will break, relationship that 2 weeks to the wedding it's gone, or in the wedding day nobody appears, or live in the struggles that we're seeing in marriages today, to a point of people harming each other or killing each other, to relationship where people are deciding, if I can't have you, I would rather kill you. It's leading to that. But those are things we didn't obey right
when
from
we were starting out.
So when this guy comes, look out for his character. Character will never ever cheat you. Money cheat, looks cheat, appearances, how they eat, how they behave, how they pick phone calls, they cheat. And it's good to be you, even as a lady. Be you. Let this man see the true you. I mean, when you're dating, if he has to visit you, and if he has to visit, he visits during the day, not at night, during the day. Let him find you. If you put on your stocking, let him know you put on your stocking, so that again we are not going into marriage and then
it's like
this is not who I married, you know, because you're always masked with a layer of makeup, or you have a personality that you present out there that is not you. Be you. Let them see the realistic of you, because that's the person you're actually going to live with.
Sure.
And we should learn, and probably even ask God, God, how do I trigger the real person? Because if someone is always good, something
question marks.
If you're ever laughing, you two people never get issues, something is wrong. Because me and my brothers, we crisscross.
Sure.
Me and my parents, we crisscross. Who are you, a stranger? We are not crisscrossing. How?
When you ever grew up together, you have nothing in common. You are in different background.
Different, probably even cultures, because now we have the culture, the intercultural marriages.
Sure.
We are just awkward. No, something is wrong. And that's where we sing trigger. I once listened to Bishop Adoyo and Eda Adoyo. They were talking about relationship, and they were saying, if you go to them for counseling, the first question they ask you, mshawai kosana? Kama hamjai kosana, and then mkosani alafu mrudi. Once you resolve, come back. Now we can start talking to you, because it's like just a molding that is not real. And relationships are built on realities. The problem we have today is that most relationships are not built on realities. Why we're having people turn into other things and look for love from other things, it's because relationships that God ordained, we've twisted them into our own selfish agendas. I want a man who is driving Range or limousine or whatever. I want him to be working as this. I want him to be having this kind of a salary. I want to do what? All those things we clap together. That's not a man. Those are things. The truth of the matter, it comes down to the two of you, really. Or bring it even closer, the two of you naked, with no makeup, with no nothing. So now those are the people you're dealing with. Forget about everything you have. It's good to have all those things. They are good. Of course, nobody wants to have a bad life. But those things are additionals. And those things we work for. We earn them. They can be here today. They won't be there tomorrow.
Sure.
But I will be this particular person. So what will I do? Those are some of the things we look. We look for the character of that person. How honest are they?
How long will it take to know that real person?
First, if you build your own character, start with self again. My character. We attract who we are many times. We attract many times who we are. So if you find some weird things, before you point,
look at yourself.
If you find a lot of faults in yourself, if you find yourself too hard to trust, like you can't trust that person, yourself, you have trust issues. Let me give you an example of a thief. I love example of a thief. Every thief thinks everyone else is a thief. Because they are thieves. So why are you not a thief? You get? And that's why you find when we start finding on relationship, you're cheating. Many times the cheating person is the first accuser, because they can't believe, every time they see you on phone, they are thinking you're doing the same thing
that I'm doing.
And now the part is, I'm jealousy because you can't be doing what I'm doing. You get?
Sure.
So I'm trying to safeguard, but I'm still doing it. So that's how it works. It's me, you.
Then you.
Me, you. So it may take the long. Never, ever, never get married to someone whose character you don't know. Now, character is how they behave when they're happy, how they behave when they're angry, how they treat people. The people you look out, especially. We say for a woman, check how a woman treats the waiter in a hotel. Check how she treats a watchman at the gates. Check how she treats those
those
people.
Are the
she
things
thinks
we
they are inferior to her. For a man, check how he relates with fellow men. Check how he relates with men who are lesser than him. Check how he relates with men who are superior to him. And check how he relates with his mother. Very important. And of course, for a girl, check how she relates with her dad and her brother.
Sure. Yeah. Those are the things one should know.
Because I can't fake my relationship with my dad.
True.
I mean, he's known me all his life.
How will you fake it?
How? He knows, and he will even point out very fast. You know, they will know it. So just look out for those things. Forget about he takes you to Villa Rosa. Forget those are black. We get a lot of blindfolds. And when you get into marriage, I always tell people, you better go slow to it than run to it. And 3 months down the line, you're coming to me asking me, Triza, how do we file divorce? What are the necessaries? Because
you feel you don't have to stay with this man
anymore. Because I'm thinking, we were jumping and happy all of a sudden in 3 months. How we felt, what, like how? But because you run into some, then the reality of the person pop. And you're like,
there's this lady, they used to be friends at first. You'll tell us whether it is important for people to be friends first before they get into a relationship. Now, she used to see him treating other people not nicely, but to her,
he was nice.
He was always nice. They could not fight. He could share anything with her, but to other people, he's not good at it. And she felt, maybe to me, I'm special. Once they got married, even they did not stay for 3 years, and she was feeling like maybe getting into a relationship, it's what led to that, but not, they could have stayed as friends. What do you think?
How was the marriage?
Bad.
The real person was his treating on people. You get? When a man wants something, I said men are hunters. When a man wants something, even you, when you want to catch a bait, we put it at the strategy. Those people who've ever tried to catch a rat in you strategic, you're trying. Or even let's come closer to a chicken, the one we want to slaughter. We throw to maize, everything to bring it closer and closer and closer and closer until we catch it. Why am I catching it?
To eat it, of course.
I wasn't catching it to hug it and kiss it and all that.
It's to be slaughtered.
Exactly. So when a man is hunting and looking for a woman, he plays all the cleanest cards. But then he's not dating the world, he's dating you. So the way he treats the world, that's the man, not you. In fact, look, if you want to know anyone in particular, just look at how they treat
other people. Don't because look at your end.
Yourself is not the marking gauge, because we all put the best foot forward for something we want. If I want to see the president, I will, everything, because I have a catch. If I want something from you, I don't come and say, Judy, do this. I first come and
impress,
blue band you everywhere, jam everything, make you look like so whatever I will ask, you will definitely give.
Sure.
If I come to you and start calling you name, even if what I'm asking is on your hands, will you release it?
No.
And that's what men do. They will smear you around to just get you. But when they get you, they have you. And men are selfishly owners. Sorry for that word. They selfishly own when they feel when wangu mi naweza kuwa wa wengi,
but when wangu peke yangu.
Forget about you, because people we think matter, we want to treat them with precautions because of what we think we will get back from them. But those people we don't think matters, how we treat them, that's matters the character. That's who we are. Even you as a person. Just gauge yourself on how do I treat house helps? How do I talk to watchmen? How do I talk to cleaners? How do I esteem them? That's the person you are, and that's the character of a person. We cannot hide away from it. But those are things we don't even care about. Some want even to almost kick the person giving you food, and before they put it on the table, you threw your head. You just want to show them they are nothing. That's your character. So, and when now we come together, because you can't pretend for your life.
True.
You know that. We all get tired. Like, I want to bring it forward. Yeah. So your real self comes out, and we are like, world help. Who am I with? Sure. And that's how people keep asking, how did I ever get married? Because you didn't look for the character. You saw a beautiful girl, well carved, beautifully looking, but you didn't consider how does she talk to others, because that's how she will talk to you. You saw a man, nice masculine, nice suit, big car.
He will not pretend for long.
Step to people when he's stepping out of that car, he will be stepping on you in the house.
He will not pretend for long. Once you get to that house, things will change.
We can't. Even we all know some point in life we put a pretense. You know that. Even you, Judy.
Yeah.
We have. And how long can you put a pretense?
Not long enough.
Not long. Because the real you still calls out, hey, come out. This is me.
Even at a point it will get out even without you knowing.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Now, should it start with friendship? Should a relationship start with friendship?
Always have your friend. Friendship is very important in this sense. First, I don't want to live with someone I'm not friend with for the rest of my life, because marriage is God's desire is that we will live together, ever together till God do us part. That is God's desire. That I will demystify in a few. Because if it's not bringing you the joy, it's bringing you more harm, please walk out. Please walk out. We don't want to bury more people. We don't want to take more people to the hospital. You don't have your hand. We know what happened. If it's not working, just walk out. But before you get into it to walk out, you can work on it staying from here. Be friend. Have your friend. Your best friend will have the best interest of you. They will look out for your well-being. They want to see you prosper. Become the person you want to become. And that's why I said purpose. So that my best friend looks out for how well am I fulfilling your purpose. Somebody will be calling, hey, you're supposed to go to the studio. Did you? How was it? Do you have any problem? Do you think I can be of help in any way? Are you stuck? What are you doing? What is because I want to see the well-being of the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. You get? I don't want you to be stuck somewhere just trying to become something you're not. It starts there. We build a friendship, because love itself, the emotional uproar, it's not long-lived. If you've been in a relation, you know, today you feel, kesho sikufeel, because zero. You know, so, and even those who think that sex can keep a marriage, can't, because sex is very, let's give it 10. Even if you have it for 2 hours every day, and they have 24 hours, what will you be doing for the rest of the 22 hours? You get? And those who are in it say you can't have sex every day. So you have every day to live with someone, and you're not always having sex. And even if you're having it every day, 2 hours, 22 hours, for the rest of the 22 hours, you need to be doing something else.
Sure.
So you get? So build a friendship that even when I don't feel your vibe, I have a friend in you. Even when you're angry, and you know the beauty of friendships is that we have those friends, hata kikukasirisha, you're still my friend. I'm mad with you, but anyway, you're still my friend. I'll look out for your back. I would still seek for your well-being.
Even if I'm mad at you.
So that's a relationship. Relationship does not, when you get into it, you forget yourself. You're not looking for your well-being. It's the well-being of that person. Now think of two people. I'm looking for your welfare. You're looking for my welfare. Tell me why we are not going to live happily.
We will. very
we
comfortably.
definitely will. Yeah.
Now we are friends. Your character is perfect, but
Character cannot be perfect, but it can be somewhere agreeable, because none is. So don't look for a perfect person. They don't exist. They don't exist. They will not even be born, because they will, the moment they step on this earth, the perfection ends. But there are those things in a person that I can live with. There are things I can look down upon. I don't have to measure on them. And do you know what, in people, if I keep appraising your best part, it keeps killing the ugly part. So what we need is to open the tap of the goodness in a person, so that it keeps starving the bad part. Then we see that in a person. No one is perfect. Me, I'm not. I wouldn't expect you to be perfect. Yeah.
Wow. Does the religion matter when it comes to a relationship? Like, I'm a Christian, he's Muslim, he's Hindu.
Yes, it does. The Bible says two cannot walk together unless they agree. And even if we leave the Bible, because we want to talk to everyone, two people who are not in agreement will never head together. Because a kingdom divided within itself cannot grow. We want someone we have the same mind, the same thoughts, the same system of beliefs. So if we fell in love and found probably our purpose are conjoined, and you are into my purpose, both of you have to agree, then we have to believe in this for it to work. Not you to believe in this and this. You won't wait, it won't work. Yes.
Now, for instance, we are both Christian, but from different churches, to say.
The same principle applies. Two cannot work together unless they agree. And the truth is, there's a misconception that just because you're a Christian, we can be together. It's a lie. Because me, I could be believing Jesus died sleeping. You could be believing Jesus died
standing on the cross.
Both of us are Christians. You get?
Sure.
But we don't agree. You get? That will be the point of contentions. And matters of faith and spirituality are very, very important in a marriage setup, in a relationship, because our spirituality shapes our relationship. There are things that we can't handle in our humanity form. It needs the supernatural intervention. And the supernatural interventions happens to the faith, to your belief. So if you believe different from what I believe, we shall be bringing two forces to fight each other. Your pastor believes if we are fighting, I keep on praying and stay. My pastor believed we should separate. We start arguing. We fight. I pick a knife. We are both Christians. So we need to have a common faith that I believe in God. I believe He's the Son of God. I believe that if we have an issue, we come together, we first pray. We pray. Before we even sort it out, before I even explain myself, I first pray. When you don't know what to say, pray. When you are confused, pray. Because the supernatural intervention will help you to know how to respond and react to it. If you can't do that, then another belief will be probably be angry, go disappear, go drink or do something else. Then you'll come to someone else, and you will come when you are with all those mix and all this. Of course, we know what happened when like people drink or blow whatever. You come and you start all manner of things. So two people cannot work together unless they agree. We agree in purpose. We agree in what we are doing. We agree in life. This is what we are aspiring to do together. And this is what I'm going to lay down for you to rise. This is what you're laying down for me to rise. Then we're in agreement.
No, I feel Anglican. That's where I've grown. That's where my beliefs belong. He's maybe Catholic. He has his beliefs. Who should give up on his or her?
According to the setup of I don't know whether to call them Christians. It's traditions. Those are traditions, not beliefs, not Christianity anywhere. It's always believed the woman moves to the man's church. But then I believe in people agreeing, consenting, and mostly when you're from two different churches, my advice always is consent to a different church that is not yours or not yours if you can't agree.
Interesting.
If you are a Catholic and I was an ACK, can we go to PCA? Can we go to CETA? Now both of us, because we are now living this, we go here. If that is, if we can't agree to both of us come to Catholic or come to this. But before then, before we even agree, I tell you, invite your spouse to your church where you fellowship. Let them come. Let them feel if it's a vibe they can walk along with. So that when you're even deciding, I'm not just selfishly deciding that lazima ukuje kwetu na kama usipokuja kwetu, you know. Yeah, we nowadays, even women are able to pull men to the church where they go to, depending, because some work in the church and then you realize there's no way she was to leave. If you all agree, okay, fine, let me come to your church. And it's bottom line, because heaven hakuna church inaenda, hata hakuna denomination inaenda, tunaziacha tu zote hapa, tunaenda cause niko saved, ninapenda God, na amenihurumia tu akaona ninafika heaven. No church will go there. So consent, agree. And it's very, very important. And this is something that you probably need to even have your parents. But again, as much as they are not, it's your marriage, not their marriage. It's your marriage, not theirs. But then you find in places whereby, like for example, I mentor pastor's children. Your pastor is in this church and the other pastor is in this church. Both of you need to consent. Because maybe this parent feels wanafaa kuja huku now. They need to, and the parents need to be in it and be in agreement to that. Because then you don't want to tear down the church.
Now, is it you get in a relationship with this person? I feel like not feeling I want a church wedding. He's not in agreement with that. He does not love those.
We are not together. From the onset, the two cannot work together unless we are agreeing in everything, including the colors of our wedding, including the grounds where we are. Then that's why I say, when you come into a relationship, you lay down every your selfish desires. This is what I would want, and it's good to speak. Communication is very, very, never leave things to assumption or to chance in a relationship. Communicate. This is how I feel about this. And if you feel the other person have a different feeling, listen to their feeling. So how do we make our feeling one? Because we are coming to build up something. But then we won't do that if I have my own agenda, you have your own agenda. So we will have point of conflict from the onset. If you find yourself always conflicting, that relationship was not meant to be for you, darling. Just move. Kanyanga, kubwa.
Now, what if the guy tells you, okay, we will do it, but not right now. Funds, maybe issues of funds.
You're not ready. Yeah. If we were not ready to be in a relationship as a Christian, we are not doing to come we stay. It's not in the Christian setting.
You have to do a church wedding.
You have to get married. It does not necessarily to be a church wedding. You can go to the AG, you can agree. I see people have all manner of pictures about marriages and weddings. In fact, most people prepare for weddings, not marriages. And that's where we have a problem. Because wedding is a day.
Just
one single day. We spend the whole year, whatever time, preparing for our wedding. But couples never prepare for their marriage. So the wedding was epic. Marriage or
down.
So as a Christian, you of course need to get married in a honorable way. If you've lived honorably, because then God knows and says, if you choose, let's try. You're a mature person. We're not going to force you otherwise. But then it will have repercussions. Because God is a God of order and principles, and He respects Himself. So a God who respects Himself, He will not just let people get away in doing whatever they want. It will have a repercussion that may not be good. It's good to have your wedding blessed in church, not necessarily in church, but a man of God should bless it, because it builds the foundation of your marriage. It's building. But if you can do it in church, the better, because it's an altar, it's a holy altar. So let your marriage be solemnized in an altar, so that the force, that altar, will be speaking in your marriage. Yes.
Now, for instance, you agree on the civil marriage. Later on, you as a lady want the church wedding. Should that bring to a breakup to your marriage once the Attorney General one?
They're all civil. Even the church one is civil. Let me demystify. The church, the wedding and marriages are conjoined by a law of the land, not the law of the Bible. The pastor, the minister officiating, only blesses. Every person who officiates marriages is licensed by the government. So by nature, they are all civil and law. That's why we get married to church, we go to court to divorce. We get married to the age, we meet at the court to divorce. So it's, people should not be deceived that it's an age one or this. They are all civil in nature.
So once I feel like, yes, we did the court wedding, but as a lady, from the beginning, I've always wanted that church wedding, that big church wedding. But on his end, it feels like we already did our wedding. I don't want anything to do with the church wedding. And you're a fellowshipper, you want those, like for instance, I'm an Anglican. For one to get maybe a position, maybe a chair lady or what, you have to have done your church wedding. Now this lady feels like I'm losing those opportunity to lead simply because I've not done the church wedding. And the man, it's not agreeing with it at all.
You just go to the, as long as you went to the AG, even the pastors who officiate, they are licensed by the AG to officiate. So whether it's an AG who officiates or whoever, it's legalized. So what you need is to go to the pastor of your church and seek blessings, him to bless your marriage. He's not wedding you again. You're already married. Just for him to bless you.
The man don't want to get to church.
He doesn't want to go to church. You are a Christian and you got married to a man who does not want.
He was a Christian, but he don't want anything to do with the church. You're the only one who goes.
The whole community. Just go the two of you, or plus your best couple. Yeah, and that's where we said lay down a little bit of your expectations and desires for the other person. If he feels it's finances, you can work up on something. Throw a cocktail in the afternoon and have your celebration for marriages in church in an afternoon. You don't need a lot of money for that.
I think you're not getting my point right. Nothing to do with finances, but he does not want anything to church. He does not.
No,
you're the only one who goes to church with the children.
This is my belief. I would believe that if he is my husband and he's still committed to me, and I'm able to communicate to him and tell him, look, I have a calling to serve God. But for me to be able to serve God, we need to both of us go to church, at least get our pastor, bless our union. We are married, yes, but let him just speak God's blessing to that. Men would always hear to that. I don't think there's a man who is too to that he can't oblige to that. But then how you tell him matters, because men are not the kind of people you come and order. You don't order a man around. You have to make it in a way that he feels respected. If you make him feel like it's a must, he would. Yeah.
Interesting. As we wind up, there is this thing all over. People are saying, "Oh, you can get into a relationship with your." I'm a lady, I get into a relation to another lady. I'm a man, I get into a relation to another man. Gayism, lesbianism, all over.
To me, sorry, I don't know whether it's a right word to use it here, but to me that is bullshit. Because why are we getting it there? Because I'm selfish. I'm always looking into what pleases me, what makes me happy. So I think another woman should be able to make me happy. That is selfishness. And selfishness is a monster. It eats you up. It eats other people. Gays and lesbians, where are they even going to get like children? Where are we going to have a continuity of life? We won't have continuity of life. That's from who? If we all became that, from who? Because children do not grow from the ground.
They are made.
There has to be a man and a woman. So where will they come from to be adopted? So to me, that's a selfish way of living. First, most people who I meet are selfish because I couldn't tone down for someone else, or probably got frustrated. Let's say some people got frustrated. And it's true today, again, because of the selfishness, relationships are very frustrating because nobody is willing to tone down for the other person. I'm always in it for the benefit I get. Most people are not there for what I give to it. So if we all come together and look, what am I giving to this? What am I giving to this? We won't have issues of frustrating love.
Some feel like they are just justifying themselves, like, or for a lady maybe men are disappointing. For a man, women are disappointing. I feel like
because of selfishness. It's still selfishness. It's because from the onset no one is perfect. I only laid down, I compromised this for you. And you see, that's why we said, if you're a friend, if you're my friend, I would be willing to go an extra mile for you. You would be willing to go an extra mile for you. But if none of us is willing to step down for the other, none of us is willing to sacrifice a little bit of what we desire for the other person, then we will end up in that place where men are disappointing and women are disappointing. And when we end up to that, we come to disappointed women who tries to build love out of this disappointment that actually destroys us more. Because by creation, love, intimate love, God created it for a man and a woman, not a woman and a woman or a man and a man. So it will still not be fulfilled, and it still will not be fulfilling. You will still be feeling, I'm lacking something. So my advice would be, let's find our fulfillment in God. Let's find love in self. Love yourself, love God. Allow God's love to soak in you. Be soaked fully in God's love. And be willing to sacrifice for the other person. Both of you will live a happy marriage.
And those advocating for it to be legalized?
For different reasons. Again, as we say, we all do things. There's always a catch point. There's always an agenda. Some are paid to do it. Especially in the celebrity world. Most are paid to do it. Because then we look at them as people who have a say and whose voice can be heard. But at the end of the day, if you sit back with yourself, such people, they can be honest. It's not something you're proud to be identified with. If we call them by name and ask them, sit down with yourself, be as honest, brutally honest with yourself. Are you proud of yourself as a lesbian? No. As a gay? No. They won't. Deep down your heart, you're not comfortable. But then, I'm getting money. I'm getting name. It's branding me, it's doing all that. Those are things that will perish. But by the person, the joy, the happy, the fulfillment, it's who you sit down back with in the evening to ask yourself, Judy, are you happy? Can you smile? That's life.
Are you proud of yourself?
Are you okay? Are you proud of yourself? Is this something I would want to hear my future generation will be proud of that I lived?
As we wind up, what is your parting shot?
My parting shot, marriages are good. Marriages are godly ordained. They are not supposed to be frustrating. We make them frustrating. So it's not marriages that are frustrating. It's not relationships that are frustrating. We make them frustrating because, again, of the monster called selfishness. If we all laid down selfishness and did what the Bible tells us, esteem the other person better than yourself, life will be awesome. Life will be enjoyable. Life will be excellent to my thinking. So love yourself, love God, love others. Don't complicate life. It's not complex.
Don't be selfish.
Don't be selfish. Because it will not just hurt others, it will hurt you more.
Thank you very much for making time to speak. I know you have inspired many. Some have learned a lot. You have learned a lot today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It has been an interesting show. Hope you have learned, as I have also learned a lot. Thank you. I've been your host, Judy Mongai. Remember to subscribe and leave a comment.